I was feeling like not too hot earlier, so I was just, you know what, I'm gonna try to like soak in the bath and see if that makes me feel any better. After I was in the bathtub for probably like 30 minutes, I was in the bathtub probably for like 2.5 hours. So when I was in there for like 30 minutes, something just like, he just like started speaking to me about like the eyeball. He was like, I don't even know how it came up exactly, like something about, he just like literally like, I don't even know how it came up, but like I just thought like vision, like I wonder how the eyeball really works or whatever, right? Because like I don't know if you guys saw, but I'd posted this stuff two days ago about an eye, right? The eyeball, how I thought we might like be in like an eye type of thing, right? I put a post
Oh,
up
I
2 days
posted
ago
it.
about it.
Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
it.
So that had been on my mind. Then yesterday, like it took me a little while to fall asleep last night because I had this. You probably heard of this. I know you're not a worldly Carol, but it was like more or less in your age group. This really popular rock band called Rush has this really popular song that was on the radio forever, and it still plays on the radio once in a while. It's called Limelight, and then there's this other song called Free Will that they came out with. And so for some reason, I literally, you guys, haven't listened to like any music at all. I haven't watched like any TV, haven't listened to any music, haven't watched any movies. And up until the last couple days, I haven't even watched anything at all on YouTube. Probably for like a good, like essentially like a month or so now, at least. Like, you know, when I say like none, I mean like none. I haven't gotten on YouTube at all. I've just been in the scripture, or just work, scriptures, that's it. And fasting and praying, and that's all I've been doing. And last night, and that's why I thought there was something to like take notice to or listen to with that, because like last night this Rush song came to my mind, and like a line in the Rush song like came to my mind, and I was just like, I'm gonna listen to that song. And then I was like, and then I'm gonna look at the lyrics, right? And I made a post about it yesterday on Facebook. And so I kind of had that in my mind when I got into the bath. And then for some reason, this thing about vision came to my mind, right? And I was just like, I don't know how I stumbled upon it or if I looked it up or whatever. Yeah, I think I just looked it up, and I literally like Googled like how vision works, right? And I saw like a 9-minute video, and I was like, okay, that's not super long. It's probably not going to be all super scientific and like blow over my head. It's probably like a pretty good little summary here. So I watched it, and it started talking about the cones and the rods. And when it said cones and how the rods had to do, how the cones, one has to do with black and white, right? I can't, off the top of my head, to be honest, I can't think of it right now which one's which. I think it was the rods have to do with black and white. But anyway, when I saw that in the video, I was like, wait, black and white. And I was just like, and cones, I was just like, and rods. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I had this picture in my mind come to my head, which was that like bird, kind of winged bird looking man thing holding the cone, right? And then, so I Googled it, and then the winged man guy holding the cone popped up. And I was just like, I think this is what it's talking about, right? And then I had just had this like thought come to my head. I was just like, wait, he's got a basket and he's holding a cone. I thought something came to me and said, that basket is full of cones. That's where he got the cone out of. That's what he got the cone out of that he's holding in his hand. He got it out of the basket, which means there's probably more cones in that basket. It's a basket full of cones, right? And then I just started like, then I thought about rods, right? When I thought about the rods after watching that video, I thought I thought about you guys have seen the, with looking into like Tartaria and old world technology and stuff like that, these videos on YouTube and stuff. I'm sure you guys have come across these things called facets, right? Where it's like an axe. There's like an axe embedded in what looks like a bunch of like sticks bundled up together, right? And what they look like to me is those pillars that you see on all of these like Roman type architecture buildings, like the White House, like I pointed out, or like even you go look at all those old Roman ruins or whatever that are still around the earth or whatever, you know, like the ones that the same architecture that was in those what they term world fairs, all these buildings have these pillars, right? These like certain type of pillars, but they look like they're made of like a bunch of like rods, like these facets. And I started thinking, so I looked up pillars made of rods, and sure as heck, that's what came up right away. And I was just like, there's no way. And I was just like, wait. And then it just all started clicking. I was like, and then I thought, water's above, water's below. First there was light, and then separated the white from the light from the dark, and just boom. And then everything in this video about how our eyeballs are designed and how they work and how we are able to process vision and images and all that, it just all started clicking. And then I thought about a CD player, and I thought about that. If you guys ever had a CD player, which I'm sure you did, if you popped it open, you took the CD out. If you had a CD in there, you take it out, and you could see the lens down there, right? And it literally looks like a little like dome, like a lens, like a firmament, like a just miniature version, right? And I started thinking about how the CD just spins above it, and that lens is capturing light that's being reflected off the bottom, the shiny part, right, of that CD, and it interprets all of that in frequency, right, and then it plays through the earphones to where you can hear the music. And I was just like, and I started thinking about the firmament and the lights in the heavens and all that, and I was like, I'm sure you guys already know I'm like 100% flat earther, so I'm not questioning that. And I'm just like, wait, okay, if the lights are just revolving around us and that's the only thing that's spinning, and the dome is fixed, and I was like, and we know in scripture it says that this earth is set on pillars, it's on a foundation, and it sits on pillars, it says in scripture. It just, the whole thing just started rolling into one, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it just all kind of came together. And when that happened, I thought about the Freemason Solomon's Temple type setup that I shared with you guys, that you guys have probably seen thousands of times, with the checkerboard floor, and then they've got the pillars that are literally made of rods, and then the top is the arc or the dome. And what I don't know if you guys noticed that, but what I was trying to point out too in the pictures I sent you guys is, if you look back at that video I shared with you guys about the eyeball and the different layers of the lens of the eye, because there's different layers of it, they literally even show the different layers of that in the arch on that Freemason Temple of Solomon um drawing with the checkerboard and all that. And then it all, like, everything just started clicking. I was like, wait, the black and the white, and it's connected with the pillars or the rods, and it just like all like came together. And I was just like, whoa. And then the scripture came to my head about, because Andy had recently, when we're in Discord, he brought up about if your eye be single and all this stuff, and I was just like, and then I had just all this scripture just started flowing. I was just, and then I thought, like, we're the apple of his eye. And then I thought beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and all this stuff. And I was just like, well, who's the holder? What's beholding? And all this stuff. And I was just like, whoa, dang. And then Murph shared a really good scripture with me, which was the Psalm. Which one was it, Murph, that you shared? Psalm something 38, 638. Was that it or something?
Psalm 32:8.
Yeah. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, it's literally all right there. So in a nutshell, I might sound like a nut, but I literally think we're in the eyeball of Yahuah. And it's, and if you look at the eyeball, like the anatomy of the eyeball, like the way we're designed, well, think about this, right? In scripture it says we're made in his image, okay? Right? Well, I mean, the eye holds an image, or it takes images, or it's able to receive images, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so there's that. And then I was looking at the eye, and I was just like, the actual part of, like, where the pupil and, like, the colored part around the pupil, I was like, that part's actually flat. There's the flat plane that we're on, and the dome above us is his lens, or firmament, or dome, whatever you want to call it. That's it. And everything just started clicking, like the whole, like, I made a post recently, I don't know if you guys saw it, about water and light, and how everything's either light or water. And all of that's right in line with Genesis, about how it says that first he made light, and then it goes from him making the light and separating that light from the dark to separating the waters. And the videos that I shared, either yesterday or the day before, but I think it was yesterday, it literally breaks down how light is just water uncompressed and how water is light compressed. And I'm sure we all are on some similar page of understanding that that dome or firmament or lens, whatever, is made of water. It's just super hard and we're not able to penetrate it, but it's made of water. And there's water outside of that. You know what I mean?